You know, guys, one of the things that actually gets to me is listening to the ANC cadres speak about the economy, and the ANC cadres speak about the job creation. I don't want to lie, this actually gets to me. And the reason for that is because I understand that the ANC has no intention of improving our economy. The ANC has no intention of pushing for the policies that are going to enable job creation. I mean, if you sit down and actually think about it, why should the ANC push for the policies that are going to enable job creation when the status quo is working out well for them? Why should the ANC work on the economy to ensure that the majority of the people in this country, they find employment, they start their own businesses, they thrive without the government when the status quo is working out well for them? I mean, everybody who has a brain understands that the ANC has basically created a system where a lot of people are depending on the social grants. And they are not even ashamed to tell the people that, guys, right now we have a milestone. Over 20 million people in this country are depending on social grants. And if you dare vote for another political party, chances are they are going to take away your social grants. This thing, you would think that young people in this country would actually stand up and say that we don't want the social grants. We appreciate that you are giving us the social grants, but this is not what we want. We actually want to work for ourselves. You would think that young people in this country, or people in this country rather, would actually get disgusted with the fact that over 20 million people in this country are depending on social grants. And it is not something that the president of the country can go around celebrating as if it's an achievement. So you would think that there would be a pushback to the ANC to say that, guys, this nonsense needs to stop. It needs to stop. But unfortunately, this is not how it goes. This is not how it goes. Most of the people in this country have actually been put in chains of social grants by this political party. And right now, they are so bold to a point where they would even threaten that if you don't vote for us, these social grants would be taken away. I mean, it is so sad to look at how things are in this country. And when you think about the fact that we cannot even shame people anymore into voting different. You know, every time when we speak about the ANC voters, this has to be one of those voters that actually annoys me. But I'm starting to realize that maybe there's nothing that we can say to actually change the minds of the people that are voting for this political party. Maybe there's nothing that we can say to change the minds of the people that are voting for these left-leaning political parties that are pushing these radical policies. Because if you sit back again and watch how everything is happening in this country, is that when people stop voting for the ANC, they are not going to vote for a political party that goes around and saying that this is how we need to improve the economy. And the political party that is laying down the plans of improving the economy, they are not going to vote for that political party. They leave the ANC and they vote for the MK party or they vote for the EFF. So at some point, you really have to ask yourself a question. Is the EFF and the MK party, are these real political parties or are these just the wings of the ANC to ensure that if the mother body dies, then you still have these two entities that are going to continue to implement the policies of the ANC? The policies of the ANC, MK party, and the EFF are no different. And if you take the numbers of these political parties, you take the ANC with 40%, you take the MK party with 15%, it's like 55%, you take the EFF with like 9%. three political parties, they still have over 60%. Over 60% of the voters in this country, they vote for these left-leaning political parties that will continue to implement these policies that we are saying are radical and are destroying the country. So even if we get rid of the ANC, chances are the political party that is going to come into play, it is a political party that is going to implement the policies of the ANC, because they are talking the same language. They are talking the same language. And the more I realize this, the more upset I get. The more upset I get. Because it's like, are these people actually sitting in hotels somewhere laughing at South Africans to say that people are saying that the ANCs die? The ANCs die. But we still have MK Party and we still have the EFF. I mean, the reason why I'm asking myself this question is because Jacob Zuma, when he announced the MK Party, he made it very clear that the intention of the MK Party is not to destroy the ANC, but the intention of the MK Party is to save the ANC. We didn't create the MK Party to destroy the ANC. We created the MK Party to save the ANC. So when the ANC finally collapses, these two political parties are going to collect what is left of the ANC. And guess what? Right now, as we speak, amongst black people, these two political parties are the political parties that are popular after the ANC. So even if we get rid of the ANC, we still have these two political parties. And that alone should actually tell us how much trouble that we are in this country. We are in a lot of trouble. And I honestly don't think that many people actually realize the kind of a trouble that we are in. We are in a lot of trouble. And sitting here, I don't want to lie, I'm starting to think that all of this was engineered to be the way that it is. I'm starting to think that maybe Julius Malema didn't really leave the ANC. I'm starting to think that maybe Jacob Zuma didn't really leave the ANC. Maybe this is the master plan of the African National Congress, of the higher ups of the African National Congress. You take the likes of Thabo Mbeki, Kgalema Motlanthe, and all of those people, all of those brilliant minds, you put them in one room. And I wouldn't pass anything like this to those people. I wouldn't sit here and say that those people are not capable of doing that. I believe that they are. But I am just worried about what is happening in this country and how the people of this country will continue to be stuffed by these political parties. They will continue to stuff them. I mean, right now, the whole VAT issue, it has actually exposed how ignorant and naive these small political parties are. It has basically exposed how naive, ignorant, and childish these small political parties are, and how quick these small political parties would sell you to appease the ANC. So right now, you don't think, or you are not only going to be worried about the EFF and MK Party, but right now, as a South African, you need to understand that if you vote for Patriotic Alliance, you vote for the ANC. If you vote for Action SA, you vote for the ANC. If you vote for Build One South Africa, you vote for the ANC. If you vote for Rise Mzansi, you vote for the ANC. If you vote for the Good Party, you vote for the ANC. If you vote for the National Colored Congress, you vote for the ANC. And this, if you vote for the IFP, you vote for the ANC. If you vote for PAC, Pan-Africanist, you vote for the ANC. I mean, guys, you know, when we go to the elections, one of the things that people like to say is that we need as more people as possible to come to vote. We need more people to come out and vote. And right now, I'm like, we don't need a lot of people coming out to vote. Because if we have more people coming out to vote, chances are the ANC will actually get a 2/3 majority. This is how much I don't trust the South Africans at this point. If we have 20% more of the people that actually voted in the previous elections, chances are the ANC still wins the elections. Because the people that decided to sit at home, they are sitting at home, but they still love the ANC. So they are not protesting the ANC by actually voting for other political parties. Instead of slapping the ANC and say that, okay, you have done so much damage, we need to get rid of you and vote for other people. No, they are sitting at home. So if somehow you encourage these people to come out and vote, chances are you will have the ANC winning with a 2/3 majority. And if the ANC does not win with a 2/3 majority, they have small political parties that are lying to the people on the ground. And we've seen how quick these small political parties are to give their votes to the ANC. My goodness. This is a mess, man. Like, this is a mess of epic proportions. And the people of this country, most of them, they are not even realizing the kind of a matrix that we are in. There's nothing that we can say. There's nothing that we can say. Because if you look at the people that have common sense in this country, it is a minority. The people that actually want things to change are a minority. A lot of people in this country, they are okay with the status quo. Do you think that the black people are sick and tired of living in these conditions that they live in? Okay with the status quo? And some of these people, we cannot even blame them because they are voting for their survival. They look at these social grants and they're like, I'm surviving. Other political parties are telling me that maybe we need to take these social grants money and divert it somewhere. And I cannot afford to have that. You remember the EFF during the last elections? What did they say? They say that, okay, the ANC is giving you guys 500 rands. No, man, you must go out and make babies. This is the leader of the EFF at the time, telling South Africans that, guys, you must go out and make babies. Because if the EFF comes into power, we are doubling your grants. The strategy of the ANC will be implemented by the EFF. And the strategy of the ANC will be implemented by the MK party. So at this point, it really doesn't matter if we get rid of the ANC. We have 60%. These three political parties, they have over 60%. And this is the real problem. This is the real problem. It is so sad, man. Like, it is so infuriating when you think about it.
Remember the voting populace is those guys in the rural areas. 100%. And bona bangas shy of it. We can talk here all day. Oksalayo, that class of people that keeps voting in the direction of self-detriment. We cannot outnumber them. Self-detriment. I just told you, Alex is a shithole, so is Diepsloot. But they'll still vote for the same party that's putting them in the shithole. They have the highest rate of fetal alcohol syndrome in the world in Diepsloot. In Anda, in KZN, they've got the highest rape rate in the country. You know, this per capita. But guess which direction they vote?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, guys, I'm not sure if you're realizing, but you are voting for your own self-detriment. Me and you, it doesn't matter, like, who wins, bro. Like, our lives remain relatively unchanged.
You'd like to say one more thing?
No, I'm good. I get his
Are
point.
you sure?
I think he was solely focusing on the Zulus, but not necessarily.
I always am.
You'll correct me if I'm wrong, but not necessarily that if we had to vote per language, the Zulus would be the ones that would be the most honest. Go with the Zulus only. But I think the other tribes, I don't think they will. And that's what I'm saying. The national.
And even if they do, the Zulus will outnumber them 6-1. 6-1, easy.
Yeah.
I disagree with most of the things Waras has said.
But that's good, Benwell. That's why I'm here. I'm here to show you the light.
And yeah, I think
And guys, like, doesn't it sell the, like, this whole thing, it sends the chilling down my spine when I really think about it. And majority of the voters who happen to be poor black people, there is no group in this country that can actually outnumber these people. There is no number in this country that can actually outnumber majority of the people that are voters in this country who happen to be poor black people. You know, guys, these are kind of conversations that actually makes me think, is this whole thing that we are doing, is it worth it? Is it worth it? The fight that we are trying to put, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? I mean, the fact that there is nothing that we can say, because it's not like the ANC has never mistreated black people in this country. For years, the ANC has been neglecting the black communities. They have allowed a situation where the black communities are living in sewages, neighborhoods that are filled with rubbish all over the place, crime, drugs. And somehow, the people continue to vote for them. No infrastructure, poor education. At this point, there is nothing that the ANC can do to actually convince the people to stop voting for them. And this is why I'm saying, like, this thing actually scares me. Because chances are we might live in this country until I'm old, living in a country that is left-leaning, continue to be loyal to left-leaning political parties that are offering nothing but a distraction. I remember a couple of days ago, who is this guy, the Secretary General of the SSCP? Solima Paila. Solima Paila at a conference the other day, I don't know if it was the SSCP conference, he was actually speaking about the unemployment grant, talking about we need to give unemployed people a permanent grant. And this grant needs to be quite better, man. It cannot be just, no, we need to give them money because everybody deserves to live in harmony. So can you just imagine if they start listening to what the SACP say and give people money for sitting at home and doing nothing? What are the chances of political parties like the DA coming and changing the situation around? If you give unemployed people, maybe let's say 1,500 rand each every month, do you think that there's anything that political parties can say to make people turn away from that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
his reading of the elections, because that was the question, I think is wrong, and it's okay. But at least
and the second question
you got to say your piece.
I think people are over the I think even the Zulus, man, they're over this thing of I have to do it because it's of a certain Zuluness. I think Christians are also not even voting for a Christian party.
ACDP.
They are not even voting, but how many Christians are there in South Africa? There's a lot.
80% apparently.
You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is I think the population has gotten to a point where they want employment and they don't give a shit if it's from AfriForum, it's from whoever. They don't care anymore. They just we don't want crime. Can things be efficient?
You think that's why they didn't vote for the ANC?
Now, yes, I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I think
that's your opinion.
I think things have went to a shithole to a point where people now are like, nah, we wouldn't have to vote for them.
Read politics.
Man, this guy is talking nonsense.
so differently.
I
Yeah,
also,
no.
look, I don't agree with that,
Yeah.
Tibs. You know why? Because I feel like from a numbers perspective,
Sure.
the people who understand that and did vote that way
Yeah.
are not enough to sway the number.
The people that care about that.
The people that have knowledge of it, Penwell.
Okay.
So you've got, let's talk about the classes of people. Moletsi Mbeki refers to the vast majority of the ANC voters. He refers to as the underclass. Okay? His word, not mine. And it's not designed to be
You say
offensive.
that's your boy, no?
It's my dude. Okay? What he says or what he means by the underclass is the very people that we just discussed, right? That live in Deep Sloot, live in townships in urban areas, not in suburbs, and live in rural areas. Now, Zematateni lapho, kwaPanya, Zulu, right? Those people,
Which area? Townships.
townships and rural
Yeah.
areas.
Matatian is a township.
Right.
Sure.
But saying township, I said townships in urban areas. In other words, you live in Johannesburg, go to uhlale Sentin,
Sure.
uhlale Alex, no uhlale Deep Sloot,
Sure.
right? So laba bant laba, they are the underclass. They are the people that are very poor, unemployed, and hoping that the ANC, who promised they would, is going to get them out of this situation. They perceive white people in general and the DA to be apartheid. White people are going to bring apartheid back. Oh my God, we have to vote in this direction. They are the people that are fooled by that type of rhetoric that the ANC and other parties espouse on their campaign trails when they say shit like, white people are going to bring back apartheid and lines of that nature. Okay, they are the people that believe all white people to be racist. They are not exposed to white people at all. They live in fucking Deep Sloot. They don't have a job, so they hardly come out of Deep Sloot. You understand? So they don't really move from Deep Sloot to Kai. When they know someone or have a friend or their bra comes from wherever, they either meet that person at the taxi rank in Hillbrow. You've seen what that looks like. There's no white people there either. They have no real life experience with any white person. So they believe what they've heard and what they perceive white people to be in their minds. So they are gaslit, and they are fed a narrative that white people are your enemy. They live there. They never see white people, so they never come into contact with them, so they don't really have any negative experience.
That's why
of
right
them.
now, even when that kid saw you, they said umlungu.
Thank you.
In 2025.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because that kid lives in Alex. He doesn't leave Alex. He goes to school in Alex. He plays in the road in Alex. He operates in Alex his whole 6-7 years of his life. He sees me, and it's like the first person of a lighter hue that he's seen in a very long time other than on TV. Okay? Right. Now, that class of people, they are almost kept so far away from the educational diaspora that we cannot convert their vote because they just simply don't know enough. And we can't access them. How are we going to access them? You can't even drive in that place. There's no way you're going to go on a door-to-door campaign in Deep Sloot, bro. It's
I'm glad
it's
you
actually
raised that.
impossible to traverse.
I'm
So
glad
it's
you raised
almost
that.
like by design, they've kept their little voting block on social grants and stuck in a shithole.
Yeah.
Because when it's voting time, you will vote for us again. Because we're the only motherfuckers who come in here and give you a social grant.
Yeah.
What you gonna do, nigga? You see? You are stuck.
Justice.
In the rural area.
And guys, so to be honest, that is evil. I mean, like, that is evil. Like, that is evil at its core. That is evil. It is evil. It is evil, and they engineered it like that. It was all engineered to be like that. Absolutely evil, man.
Possible to traverse.
I'm
So
glad
it's
you raised
almost
that.
like by design, they've kept their little voting block on social grants and stuck in a shithole.
Yeah.
Because when it's voting time, you will vote for us again. Because we're the only motherfuckers who come in here and give you a social grant.
Yeah.
What you gonna do, nigga? You see? You are stuck. In the rural areas, now we has those people, same thing. They never see white people. They never have a lived experience of what other cultures do. They only know what they know. And what they know is ANC, because the brand, Mandela, they liberated us. It's like brainwashing. You must watch a series called Chernobyl. It's about the Soviet Union when the Chernobyl disaster happened. And it speaks about how these communist ideals of indoctrinating people into a way of thinking. When the nuclear power plant explodes and it's fucking leaking nuclear matter across the whole of the Ukraine, modern day Ukraine, at the time it was whatever, Chernobyl was in whatever, what was it called, Czechoslovakia or whatever it was called those days, but it was part of the Soviet Union. The nuclear physicist who goes to the site to go and see what happened sees that, this thing is spewing nuclear waste into the air. And he goes to the head of nuclear guy to go and say, bro, we need to issue an emergency warning now. We've got to evacuate literally 300-kilometer radius of people or they're going to get sick. And that guy is like, we can't do that, my man. If we do that, we'll be admitting that our nuclear facility was a fuck up. Are you mad? He's like, bro, the ship has sailed. The thing is exploded. If we don't do it now, do you understand what I'm telling you? And he's like, do you understand what I'm telling you? Politically, there's no way I'm going to do that. I'll lose my job. And he's like, yeah, but I'm a fucking nuclear physicist, my brother. I'm telling you what's going to happen. And he says, and I used to work in a shoe factory. To the workers of the world. And he drinks his drink. He tells them to fuck off. Do you understand? He's been installed there because he's a cadre.
Yes.
You check. He's an idiot. But he's got that position.
He's definitely not an idiot.
He's an idiot.
Definitely not.
Imbecile. Knows fuck all about nuclear physics.
Sure.
Right? And now he has to deal with the nuclear physics matter. Right?
But he's here for political, and he's focused.
He's here for political reasons. He's been installed. He tries now and he goes to, the board with the president, Yeltsin, and the KGB head and Sbanban. And they're like, what happened at the facility? And they're like, no, sir, just some spillage of Ntontoni and this. And this guy is sitting in the meeting, the nuclear physicist guy, and he stands up and he says, I'm sorry, I can't. This thing exploded. And the reason it exploded is because of the way we build our nuclear facilities. We use boron instead of Ntontoni. And we don't put it in the manual. You see, because they can't declare that. And when those poor guys that work at the facility were busy pressing buttons, they didn't know that by pressing those buttons, they were actually triggering the bomb. Because we told them, this place cannot blow up. It's impossible. And in that communist agenda, you cannot deviate from the party policy line.
Yes.
Right? They install people, can't deviate from party policy line. If you do, you die.
Yes.
Brainwash the entire population. Such that even when this man was screaming and shouting to officials to say, guys, I know what I'm talking about. I studied this thing. I built nuclear reactors. They just ignored him and eventually he was taken out the game.
This is so similar to what is happening in the country right now, man. This is absolutely similar. This is similar. And that's why these people have actually strengthened their fight against the podcast. And I see some people on social media saying that, yeah, you see these podcasts, they need to be regulated. But what people do not understand is that once they start to regulate the podcast, next, they are on social media. And before you even know it, nobody will be allowed to say anything about what is happening in this country. And unfortunately, most of the people that are on social media, we need to regulate. They don't understand that this is how they strip your power, by taking it bit by bit. But before you even know it, you have nothing. I mean, just listen to that. Just listen to that. The people are screaming. A small number of people are screaming, yeah, guys, this is wrong. It's like, but majority of the people, they don't care. They don't care. They are okay with the status quo. Everything is working out well for them. And I don't want to lie. This is a mess. This is a mess. Guys, please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.